If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Damn.
Yeah, no pressure.
Time's counting.
Bruno,
Okay, guys.
you should start, Bruno.
Let me start. Let me start by, well, I'm trying to find Miro here, so I cannot.
It was a long night of December.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we start? So basically, it's a curiosity that many years after, I found a curiosity. This started, this very good, energetic movement, this really started with a frustration. So it's kind of mind-blowing because, well, or not, basically, we can see frustration in 2 ways. Either you crumble on it, and I will talk a little bit in details what the frustration on it, what the frustration was, or you can just find opportunities and thrive. And that's what Nuno and I just did. So we found a huge amount of frustration back in 2015, that the conversations that we constantly have about agility, the roots of agility, our organization should be organized, the belief that we're fond about self-organization and all this great stuff that we all love. We couldn't talk to anybody. It's really kind of weird to have this frustration back in 2015, but this was really, really frustrating, basically. So we kind of go for it. So let's make a space. Let's try to do something different and make a space that we can really talk about this without thinking about the consequences, just sharing and learning with each other. And this is how it all starts, trying to resolve our frustration of cannot talk to anybody else than we both, and the level of discussions that we had for agility there. So at the very first beginning, we just start visualizing how this could be made, and we took our time there. So it's very important. We took a lot of time visualizing and saying, how do you see this? How do you see that? Can we go there? What do you think about doing this move? And well, in these discussions and visualizing the whole scene, and by the way, it turns out to be a lot better. So thank you guys for everybody that is involved on this. A huge scale in terms of what we can imagine and what is turning out. But in these discussions, it was clear, and we took the decision that we will not, if we try something, we will not manage this as everybody else, top bottom controlling and just having some weird agendas. And no, it's not our thing. So we put ourselves in the out of our comfort zone, because we never did that. So we were discovering. You keep in mind that we are discovering really new things, new ways of managing a team or a group of people. And so we decided to create a self-organized team. That's what we believe, and that's the first principle that we just said to each other is, no, this should be a self-organized community, something that's just goes wherever it goes, but it goes by himself. And so when this is clear, we started the journey. And that journey, we started by just sharing with everybody our ideas. That's how I can relate huge amount of. I usually relate to the video here. So me and Nuno, I will guess we are the first answers, and then the crazy guys. Thank you guys for every single amount of minutes that you put in to listen to us, our crazy ideas. And they will share some of them with you guys right now, right after. So Mike, Pedro, Torres, Franqueira, you guys, as the video said, are really the ones to congratulate. So the first answer is just the first answer. The first follower is what matters most. I can relate with that, guys. So yeah, we started by single one-to-one conversations. I don't know, Mike, do you want to jump in, or Pedro? Hello?
Yes.
Please, go for it.
Yeah, so yeah, I do remember, so at the time we were all working in Farfetch in Leonesa. Yeah. And during lunchtime, it was normal that we would go just around the entire compound and just talk. And
only on sunny days, right?
Yeah, well, yes, when it was raining, we would just go on under the in front. There's a part that wouldn't rain there, but we would go back and forward all the time. So yeah, the thing that I remember the most was about our talks about the universe, planets.
You have to put context on that, yeah.
Yes, satellites, and then we were relating that how everything in the world actually can be compared with that, and how each planet attracts its own satellites. Some satellites stay in those planets. Some planets as satellites, they become other planets. So we were really crazy about the way we were trying to figure it out something. So yeah,
that conversation was very interesting, because we're talking about okay, so if we want to grow, how can it grow? We grow, and the conversation was, do we grow? Do you remember, Mike? Do we grow with? Is this if you open another Connect on another city? Is this going to be a satellite? Is this going to be another planet? Is this going to be another sun? Is this going to be, I don't know, a double sun system solar? These crazy conversations there.
Yes, but it was actually, we were able to relate everything with the universe all the time.
Yeah.
So which was, I do remember that one is one of my memories.
And a lot of conversations was also when we were having some issues during the day in our teams. We just slack to each other and let's go for a walk. And we start with the theories and the problem itself, and then from a sudden we start to talk about completely different things. Like the planet is one of the things, a huge amount of stuff that is not, if you if you were there, you will never correlate with what we are here saying, and even with our work, which it was a real interesting thing. And it was a long ride.
Yeah, because
I can remember.
one of the things that we wanted to try is this was not about Bruno and Nuno, it was about, well, everybody, so everybody should be bringing ideas. So that's why Pedro is saying very well, sometimes the conversation just goes completely wild. And I'm not sure, by the way, this is a good question. So for you guys, Mike and Pedro, did you felt, because this was a purpose for me and Nuno to include you guys as equal, not as somebody that comes there and the idea is from Bruno or Nuno or whatever. What do you felt?
I will be honest. I never thought about that kind of relations because usually when I'm in a discussion, I always used to do a lot of questions to try to learn more, to understand, and that was my purpose on those times. I never thought that the goal was to create something or whatever. I just want to talk.
Yeah. Okay, and then we started with Torres. In Torres, it's all about dinners, right, Torres?
Yeah. I think no. This is quite interesting. Pretty much because I think I was the only one that was not working at Farfetch back then. So
no.
We all worked at Farfetch sometime in our lives, but I had left back then, and I kind of kept a relationship with everyone. I think that with Nuno was a little bit more kind of perduring. So I remember perfectly talking about Agile and a lot of dilemmas that were ongoing on Nuno's head. I'm going to be honest. I never heard about this story about the planets and stuff. Otherwise, I would think that you guys would be crazy. I would never join you. I would never join you. I'm going to be like completely honest. I'm shocked. I'm so happy.
It's only between me and Mike. It's like...
No, look, I was amazed, but pretty much what kind of drove me to the group, obviously not only like the friendship because we all knew each other. It was this audacity. I would say that two people. So, and you really need to put this in the right context. Okay. So Bruno was an Agile coach coming from being a senior software engineer. Nuno Rafael, he was a DBA.
Yeah.
Okay. That was what Nuno was. Okay. He looked after databases. Okay. And these two kind of deciding we want kind of to do something different. We want to bring an international event to Portugal, not only to Portugal, to Porto. Okay, which is, trust me, it's not that popular at that time. We were talking about 2015, and
no, the only one was Agile PT, right? So
yeah, and to be honest, it was completely different from what we were envisioning, right? Because we were actually wanting to close the gap between having like one event once a year and actually have a regular moment where we could touch base and share and be open, almost kind of open source, whatever we were going to do, and yes, and I'm going here to show probably what I believe it was kind of the moment where these co-founders that I really appreciate the opportunity.
Nasty photos or what?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
come on.
Okay. So this has been taken in a very interesting restaurant in Porto. It's called
I had hair that time.
Called and Antunes, so that's the name of the restaurant. I was talking about Ramiro a couple of hours ago. It was Antunes. I totally recommend the pernil and to drink espadal. That was actually what we are seeing here, this kind of rosé wine. And as you can imagine, after a few glasses, maybe more than 10, everything made perfect sense. So we had here a more kind of, Emirates Arab moment here, me and Franqueira. You see here some interesting Postits because we were just saying, no, we need to have some Postits here, otherwise this won't make any sort of sense. And yes, and if I think that probably just now I actually realized that maybe one of the key ingredients of the success of what became like an amazing community was how diverse this group was.
Yeah.
Pretty much because we were all so different in age, in beliefs, in ways of thinking, of acting, of behaving. We were so different that this mix actually made all of this possible. And this was probably like my first aha moment saying, being different is nice, and the more different the group can be, more diverse, the more things you can actually achieve and get stronger.
The greater can be. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
totally agree. That's a great intake.
Yeah. If I remember right, one of you was explaining the guy in the restaurant serving what we were doing and how to use Postits, right?
Yeah.
Not sure if it was Franqueira or you. So basically,
don't know.
at some point, basically what Mike is saying, at some point, can you show the image again?
Oh, sure. I'm risking to say it was the person that was more drunk. That's
Yeah,
kind of my...
so Franqueira for sure.
And Rafael.
He's not
means
here to
business.
defend. Yeah, so you guys, you are seeing that that's a pattern here. So who's not present, it will be the most drunk.
Exactly. Let's blame them. It was these two over here. So see.
So basically, the guy is seeing, okay, what these guys are doing with my wall. You know,
No,
and he goes
absolutely.
there. You see the? Can you zoom? You can, I think Pedro, do you have another picture of this, right? And more
These
details.
two were the drunk ones, not
Yeah.
Almeida
Not
is
that
here.
one, not that.
We can't blame him. I think I can zoom. So let me just see how I can do that. Wait.
Almeida, do you have a better photo of the? Because it's really so.
Do you think we can read the Post-its?
I think we can in another one.
No.
Okay, I will try to find out.
I saw the
it will
image
be
somewhere.
quickly. Yeah, I have here. I need to go there.
So basically, the guy just come to us and say, "What the hell you are doing to my wall? Because you can imagine that."
And we assured that the wall wouldn't get damaged because
Exactly.
it was just kind of Post-it. Like the glue was fine because he was really concerned about the wall.
And the surreal part of this meeting was not the Post-its or we being drunk or the napkins flying around or whatever. It was somebody that, for some reason, thought that they could explain to the guy in the restaurant what we were doing.
It sounds sane to me. I don't know. Back then, it made perfect sense.
And so, well, the Post-its are very nice. So this is I think this one was the discussion about the tracks of the, right?
I think tracks and
okay,
kind
so
of
Pedro,
master plan.
yes,
Oh, there you
yes, really beautiful. Can you zoom?
Yes.
So this is how we did it in a stupid wall with stupid Post-its. And well,
opening workshops, open space, keynote here.
POT,
there you go.
There you go.
Photos,
3 talks, 3 threads, afternoon, lunch, you know, that's it.
We also have Coiso there, which is also...
What is the Coiso?
Is the Post-it on the table.
Yes.
We also have cenas.
Cenas.
Yes. Cenas is always with us.
Cenas is the wild card. It always works, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So that was really, really fun, by the way.
Yeah, and when we did this, I remember that we were like, yeah, doesn't seem that difficult to organize the event, right? It's just some tracks and stuff, and then, yeah, we can move stuff around if it's not working. So it seemed quite, at the time, it looked quite simple to do. So,
yeah, it's just, check, done, yes, check, done, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing because this was only one of the sessions or of the meetings / dinners that we had, but we had a long huge amount of dinners and to talk about the preparation of the regional Scrum gathering, and all over the place we are in a restaurant and near the wall with Post-its to talk to something. And everyone was looking to us to try to figure out what we are doing there.
And by the way, so that was
you can see here another restaurant.
Exactly. From that
this
time,
was sorry for the time. It was Sem Montaditos. So as you can see, we have a pattern that is very strong here. That is where you have cheap booze, we would do the meeting.
Oh God.
Yes.
Just 5 years ago, like,
sharing.
you know? No, absolutely. And you know, and maybe I can continue a little bit more because I think that then kind of my story got a little bit shorter. You know, because I just have like 3 more moments that to me, they kind of really kind of impacted me in a very, very important way. So the first one was that we kind of changed name in between. So as you know, we are now at Agile Connect. It really didn't bond that way. So that was something that was interesting. I didn't actually help co-organize the event. So I've kind of worked in the group for almost like a year or so, but I was in a very interesting moment in my life where pretty much I was leaving out of Sonai and moving to Lisbon to join Talkdesk. And so I kind of said to the group, hey guys, look, I'm really, really sorry. I'm really into this with all of you, but I can't finish this ride because I'm going to move to Lisbon and I'm going to be there from Monday to Friday. I won't be with my family, and so I kind of quitted the group to be fair. And it was actually kind of something that it was really painful for me because I was really invested in making this work. Nevertheless, it was actually quite interesting that from that day that I quit until the day of the event, Rafael called me every single morning to talk to me about what was happening in the event, how was the organization, what was my opinion. And I don't know if you know Rafael, but Rafael doesn't know what a call is below 1 hour. So you at least have 1 hour on the phone.
That's the minimum amount, yeah.
Exactly. Like otherwise, it won't be a call. And so it's even I was not in. I actually kind of thought that I was in, and to me that was actually quite interesting. And yes, and look, I'm not going to give you a lot of details about some stuff that was really interesting, but from being threatened to have a lawsuit because of some weird stuff that was happening, to lost a dear friend of mine, I think that was kind of a year, that it was pretty much like a roller coaster to me. So a lot of interesting stuff and kind of and creating such a beautiful group like the one that we are seeing today, from some stuff that, well, it is what it is. And maybe I faced things that I never felt in my entire life. And some of them was pretty scary for sure. But at the end of the day, looking to everyone here in this Zoom call, it was completely and totally worth it. And if I could do it, I would do it again. And
you can count on me, my friend.
And just to my close note regarding my story is, the story about the fifth Beatle, the one that just kind of went out of the band before they really got famous. That's kind of how I feel regarding this amazing group. That was, I created the group not because I wanted, but because life is life. And now looking to these rock stars and seeing how they actually shine on stage and making all of this possible, to me, it was pretty much amazing. And so I really feel blessed for being part of this story. So thank you everyone for allowing me to be part of it.
Thank you, Torres, to be the first crazy nuts to dance with us, I guess.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to take something that you said, the part of we did stuff that are not so safe, like it's crazy. It's all like a novelty for us. And I guess the meetups, do you remember the organization of the first meetups? So I'm not sure, Mike, Pedro, and Torres, if you guys
maybe
want to start going
more,
there. Maybe
they suffered more. They suffered more, I guess.
Yeah. So we kind of, one of the things, yeah, go for it. Sorry.
No, I was saying that probably it's better to explain why we start.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead, because
no, please.
It was one reason from the beginning, from the big band, right?
Yeah. So basically, we started the meetings. The main reason was to get people into the 1 year of getting track and getting momentum. Again, the video is really nice. So the idea of the meetings was to getting momentum to the final event. So, and also a little bit about experimenting ourselves, how to organize this kind of events. So stuff like in the very first meetings, we were discussing stuff like, and we get this really focused on how do we change 20 people from one space of the room to the other space of the room, how the dynamics of the room are going to be organized, how can we control 100 and more people in a room, how can we just, do you remember, Pedro? How can we how can we dynamically let people into do stuff, but within a fluid, with a great flow, because these were important questions. So for our main event and the end of the year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And can I say something before I give you the full word on this? Because
full word.
Well, not full word, but I will always participate. But one very important thing that we all talked about, and this is a characteristic that's very important on the first, I would say, 10 meetings or 8 or 9 meetings, is that we found out that, so if we want to take a family, well, let me give a step back. So a little bit of context. We have some 1 or 2 committees there that were using the space of their community to go to the companies and talk there, go to the companies, present themselves, and blah, blah, blah. But we found that this could be too commercial and very informal. So if we were to have a community that you can feel like a safety place to talk and be a family between whoever appears to there, it was so important to us to be a fixed place. So we found a fixed, neutral place, and by neutral I mean no enterprise attached, no how do we say, patrocinios, sorry guys, can you help me?
Sponsorship,
no sponsorship, no enterprise, and we choose UpTech. So it's a neutral UpTech, so it's a neutral space for companies to go there. And basically the first was with this philosophy in mind. So everybody knew that if something is to happen in Agile Connect, they knew already the place. They just needed to see at what hour it will be beginning. And even that, do you remember, Mike? We were, or Pedro Almeida, you just jump in, please. We were defining that the last, I think it was the last, right? So it was always on the same place, always on the same week per month, always at the same hour, and always dinner afterwards. I remember that one of the dinners, go ahead,
No, that's it too. I think it was every last Thursday of the month at 7. Well, it started at 6:30, but it was always 7 because people needed time to come from the company. Person.
Or the sentence or the goal in my head was, okay, I want to change the world. So how I can do it? So I thought, okay, let's inspire someone, or let's help someone, or let's change the culture that we have in Porto at the time, because it was where we were born. And after that, it was really amazing, because since the first day, prizes, the couple from the sponsorship, try to create the most safe place to share something. Even the people that don't know nothing should be safe to arrive there. Guys, I'm here to learn. I don't know nothing about this. I want your help. And that was really, really powerful. And I think we have done a good job at the time. And we need to bring more context at the time in Porto. At the time in Porto, we didn't have this huge amount of communities and meetups that we have nowadays. Probably we have 2, 3.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see it. So it was really challenging, and we work a little bit crazy to start that kind of things. And we take the opportunity for this monthly meetups to do a lot of experiments, to think about system thinking, like Bruno was saying. Okay, how are we gonna influence the flow of the people to start to be engaged, to talk with each other? How can we separate, for instance, the scope of the discussions and that kind of things? And we start to also to bring new technologies like open space. We never knew what that was. We start to experiment, and it was interesting from one of the meetups that the main template that were all the communities were using it was like, let's invite someone to give a talk, and then we have a Q&A session. And we were eager to experiment like one meetup with no talk, with only an open space. And we had how many people? 30 probably, and it was a huge success, and the people were
50.
Okay, it was really amazing.
We were scared, right? Because you never have done it. That's what
Yeah.
we talk about, full potential, my friend. That's it.
Yes.
Yep.
There was no subject on that one. It was bring whatever you want to talk about. And still 50 people believe that it was worth to go there.
So the thing that I'm sharing right now is the thing it's just over I don't know, it's blown my mind. Turn out to be very interesting. How do they inspire people throughout the year? So this is the spirit that we made, or we try to do it with this sentence, the spirit that we've made in these first steps of the organization of the. And what we learn along the journey is this. Well, I can relate this mission to the guys dancing. You see what I mean? So why is dancing? It just inspires people to go there and dance and be the best dancer in the world in that moment. That's it. This is the spirit. This is the mission. And as Pedro Torres said, I'm really proud of you guys, everybody that's involved on this, because you just basically turn this vision and mission in something that I'll remember this for all my life for sure. Okay, so I'm not sure, guys, if you want, I'm going to stop share now because I'm getting emotional. And
yeah, so, it was amazing.
It was amazing. Meetups, everybody. Yeah. So I don't know, Mike and Pedro, if you want to talk a little bit about the event itself.
Sure, and then also if people could have some questions, it could also be interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of to ask people and kind of to make this a little bit more two-way. But I think that's definitely kind of the way that that you guys organize the events. I think it's meaningful to be shared too.
Yeah. Mike Almeida, go for it.
Yeah. So picking up everything
to talk about what the regional Scrum gathering.
Yeah. So
yes.
Okay.
Let's basically jump to the regional Scrum gathering.
Basically, momentum is gaining in the meetups, and then at the end of the year, the big event just happened. So go for it. Yeah. A huge amount of stories there, I guess.
It starts very well, right, Mike?
Yeah. So let me just before we jump into the craziness of what were those 3 days and everything else before. We learned a lot with the meetups that we did, and they were a really, really safe lab and a sandbox for us to experiment everything, from not having a talk to how can we move and make sure that people go the direction we want to. We were really experimenting this, and we were starting to feel confident because things were going okay. We started with some people, we were growing, people were giving us cool feedback. We were talking about that yesterday. There was a girl that she was in the army and she wanted to move into a different direction. So she was coming to our event to figure out what Agile was about, because she thought, this is what I want to do. So there was already some things happening before. And then everything just kind of happened just to make one single thing happen, which was the regional Scrum gathering. So Pedro, do you want, well,
I just want to tell a story from one of the preparations day or nights that we have done in Braga. I went there to Franqueira's house with my car, and it was raining a lot. and we were there preparing everything till 5 a.m. I think. And I was very tired, and I was very happy to go home to have some sleep. And then when I arrive outside, where is my car? I didn't find my car, police car, because it was in front of a garage. So it was a crazy night, rainy night. I didn't have an umbrella, nothing. It was a really interesting night for sure. But then the event arrives, and the most amazing thing has happened.
Yeah, just before going into, sorry, Pedro.
Go ahead.
Just before diving into the event, we decided to have a call for volunteers for the event, and lots of people applied. And just on the day before, I remember we went to ISEP, where is in Porto, where it happened. It's the Institute of Engineering. And on the previous day, so the volunteers arrived, and we were all talking and organizing, checking the space. And because some of them were also from the university, they were students, they didn't know anything about Agile, Scrum, Kanban. For them, that was a very strange thing. So I do remember that we did a very cool training in the afternoon about explaining how we can use a board, how we would be organizing the event. So that was the first cool moment, because everything went very smooth, and it was a very reassuring moment that everything else would go very, very well. Right, Pedro?
Yeah, it was. We were very happy. So the event starts at 8, I think, and at 7:45, we didn't have the fish bags. We didn't have anything. We didn't have Wi-Fi on the hall.
Oh,
It was the most chaotic thing.
Yes.
It was chaos everywhere.
Yes. Rafael sending messages. I'm almost arriving with the t-shirts, and we're like, we need the t-shirts. People are already outside waiting, and hey, I'm just arriving.
And you know, Rafael
was leaving home, right?
Yeah, it was leaving home.
I think it's like half an hour to 45 minutes away from
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was chaotic. It was really amazing because we were.
But by the way, Pedro, you are using chaotic with a purpose, right? So be aware that the chaos. Yeah, so, yes. So be aware that Almeida is using this word on purpose.
Yes.
And it's when chaotic happens that, well, you can say it, Almeida. When magic, right?
Yes, the magic appears in chaos. So the people start to self-organizing itself. So we start. I think it was Mike that was behind the desk, right?
Yes,
you
the
were
counter,
there.
yeah.
So what happened, Mike?
Yeah, so we were trying to connect to the Wi-Fi because we need to register people arriving, to give them the pack, to explain what was going to happen. There was already a line outside, and people were just saying, we don't have internet, we can't register anyone, we don't even know, we can't, it's not working. Yeah, it was, I do remember those 15 minutes. I actually thought the world was going to end, and said, okay, this is anti-Big Bang, so this is going to implode and everything will disappear.
But you had everything planned, right? Everything was planned.
Yes. On the previous day, we went there, we checked, the internet was working.
Under control.
Exactly.
Like everything was under control.
Completely.
Yes.
And more relevant, there was a post-it on the board that said that it was easy to do that. So we just put it in progress to register people, and it should have happened, but it didn't. And then some people were waiting, so they were coming to the desk without register, and we didn't know what to do. We were just like in panic. And suddenly, some of the volunteers, they had mobile data, so they actually connected the data and they start to register. Someone picked up a list of the people because we wanted to put everything in back, and said, I'll start take them out of this list, and then I'll go when things are calmer and I can take them down. So suddenly, a lot of stuff that nobody prepared for just happens. And in half an hour, everybody was registered. They had their bag, their welcome bag. They were going to the room, and we were starting the event. So it was like half an hour from completeless chaos that, oh my God, this will never happen and we're screwed, to oh my God, how did we manage to do this? And everything seems extremely under control. And only the people that were in the beginning of the line, they were aware of the chaos, because everybody else came and said, oh, this is so well organized. And we were like, where the hell were you 15 minutes ago? Because it was madness.
Yeah.
By the way, and then Nuno arrives, right?
Yes, with a t-shirt. So at the time, then we sorted out and said, okay, the t-shirts didn't arrive on time. You will get it on the break. We will get them, and then we figured out the way to give t-shirts to people and at the end, everything was sorted out, and everything that was really well planned in the previous day. Yeah, there's no. It was the first time I learned that you should only plan to a certain degree and not try to plan everything, because it will never happen like you planned.
Uncertainty, my friend, uncertainty.
I don't know if we have here any volunteer from the conference or even speaker, because it can be interesting to see the other side of the fence. Okay, like what
the saviors.
Angela, she was a volunteer.
I don't know if there's anyone else here, but
self-organized NG.
Yeah, I was not on the 5 minutes that was the perfect chaos. I was in the middle of the chaos when everyone was screaming, and I was like, what's happening here? And I didn't ask nobody, because I was asking, nobody was answering me. I remember just, let's jump onto something, and I start doing something. Everybody was with the same mood, and I think the important thing was the day before, the afternoon before. I was young on Scrum and Agile and everything. I kind of didn't understand nothing about it. I kind of owned this guy's a lot of my knowledge and a lot of my mindset, because was definitely on this event that growed everything, especially the day before when we were in that room learning and building and making every volunteers on the same page. That was definitely the main object, to make us all in the same page and act just by a group of people building a team. And we have a problem, let's face it, let's go. And everyone was doing something. It was amazing. I think it's kind of a magic, and I think that's no way to explain it better than that.
And leave it, right? So same mission, same spirit, you just face the problems.
It is interesting, because we have here 3 or 4 sentences that describes the full conference. The first one was self-organization since the first day. And I can give you another example, like Rafael was setting one specific constraint in the system, in this organization, which was we should use River, which is an application to chat between each other, for everyone to connect. And after 10 or 15 minutes, the volunteers start saying, okay, we cannot use this stuff. So we changed to WhatsApp, and it was right away. And everyone was talking with each other. Everyone was more organized without this big constraint in the system, which was interesting. The other way, another sentence, which was inspect and adapt. Okay, we have
the board.
We had one feedback board, and it was amazing. All the things were handled like, okay, someone was asking for something, automatically one volunteer arrives there, pick that stuff, is solved. It was like magic. And you saw, since
do you have the picture of the board?
Somewhere, probably in the hard drive from Rafael. We are still waiting for the videos of the conference. So Rafael should be here, because we are always talking about him. It was
Rafael is just arriving.
Exactly, don't worry.
So it was amazing since the first day, the chaos, the truly chaos, to the last day of the session. It was really amazing, and you saw the evolution. Even the speakers that attended, and even the participants, the volunteers, everyone saw this kind of evolution, and it starts to be usual, normal. Like, okay, Go ahead.
Can I share just the last thing? We as a volunteer, some of us were before in the meetups, but some of the others weren't. But I think that all of us felt the same thing with just 4 hours in the day before of connecting and sharing everything. We never felt like you've been hearing them talking. They have something. There's something that connects them all. And at the day that we were on board, in the afternoon before the event, we were on board on this mission. We felt part of it, like we were there from the first hour. And we had the power to do whatever we felt that was okay to do. And that is something that I don't think I ever felt in my life, to be on a place where I was not there from the beginning, but I felt that I was, and I felt that I was part of it even from the first minute. And that was amazing. It's not just about the way they organized, was also the way they were as a people, as persons on the event. And like Pedro said, it definitely was a way to change the world.
Yeah, let me add here 3 histories from the event that I will probably never forget. One, and the quick one, was that at the end of the first day, we were exhausted and we went for a dinner downtown, and Angela joined us, and we left so much because we were so relieved that nobody died during the day and that people didn't want to kill us.
I have here a photograph.
Yeah, so we were laughing so much.
We were crying.
Yes. So I don't even, it was something stupid, because it was always something, someone would said something really stupid and we would just laugh till we couldn't no more. So this is one
actually, Mike, before this photo, you were all so stressed that you were still over-engineering about the things, and then suddenly something stupid happened and you just relax and say, whoa. It was that moment about the photo.
Oh, control, oh, planning, oh, my friend.
Yes. So, and then there were 2 things happened really cool. So 1 or 2 more things. Well, lots of stuff happened really cool, but 2 things that stayed in my mind. So Pedro was talking about the feedback board that we installed. So everybody was empowered. You didn't have to say, you go and take care of this. You would go by the board. There was one thing there. You felt, oh, I can solve this. So you would put it in progress. You would solve it, come to the board and say it's done. So I'm not sure if Lula is here. I know he's in the event, not sure if he's currently here, but Lula was there and he's a vegetarian. So at the end of the first day, there was a post-it on the board saying, yeah, so it's cool that you have food for vegetarians, but vegetarian food is also good for non-vegetarians, and they're eating our food. So because if there's 10 vegetarians, you ask for food for 10 vegetarians. So end of the first day, there was that feedback. I went to the catering lady and said, you know what, we need to fix this. So tomorrow I'll let in the morning know the vegetarians. They will come directly to the kitchen door and ask for their food. So please reserve at least, doesn't matter, 10 plates of food for them, and the remaining you can put it on the outside. So, and this was cool. And she was like, oh, well, what you know, and we put some other stuff, and I let her know, we have a feedback wall, and in that feedback wall, people go and put stuff. So on the second day, everything was addressed and fixed. And Lula said at the end, because people could go to the stage and talk, and Lula said, this is the first event I came that I actually was able to also eat and not only learn. So I do remember this. And the amazing part is not what he said, is that on the second day, after lunch, the catering lady was on the feedback wall, was on the feedback board, looking for the things she could fix in the kitchen, and nobody asked her to do that. She figured that out for herself. Oh, there's a place where people go and put feedback about the food. I'm gonna go there and check it. So, and the other part happened at the end. So we were going to have our Porto wine tasting. And Duarte, I'm not sure, I didn't saw him today here, but he was and he's another volunteer. He's not okay. So Duarte, he was on the volunteer team, and me, Pedro Almeida, Rafael, and probably Franqueira. We were talking in the lobby of ISEP, relaxing a little bit and say, oh, this is going well. feedback is good. We managed to take this to a good place, and the image of Porto and Portugal is kind of safe, and I think we created something cool here. And Duarte comes with a big problem and says, oh, we have an issue. We don't know where we should put the glasses for the Porto wine because we don't know if there's a table. And I do remember Almeida turning back to him very calm and saying, what do you think it should be done? And Duarte looks at him and says, he's going to start to talk, and Almeida just says, so go and do it. And he was like thinking for a second, he straightened his back, and he went back to the room so confident. I never know what happened to the glasses, but nobody complained. So that was for me the first, not the first, but the realizing of, if you empower people, they not only get motivated, but they solve the problems. We never heard anything about the glasses anymore, and the problem was solved. And we would have the three of us to think about the solution and go and check. So, and I think also Duarte understood this, that sometimes you don't need to ask people for things. They just need to be empowered. So those are three very, very cool moments from the event.
I love it. So guys, we have 2 minutes left. I love those stories. So maybe a little bit, we can take a little bit of our own perspective about the grow. So we have been just talking about this journey, meetups, getting momentum, and then having this huge event with so many delightful stories. And then afterwards, again, some magic appears, right? Do you want to take it, Almeida? Aveiro, maybe?
Yeah, Aveiro.
Yeah.
What is interesting regarding mainly with Aveiro and Braga was, I don't remember if it was Sarah from Braga that approached us during a meetup and told us, hi guys, this is really amazing. I think we should do something also in Braga. I don't remember very well the conversation, but also Sophia probably. Sophia. Yeah. So a group of people arrived to us and start talking about it, and it was amazing to see that people came from Braga to Porto to listen and to be involved, to get involved. So, and then we start talking, and okay, let's do the thing, and the thing appears magically. Then regarding Aveiro, it was the same thing. It was, I think, Diana. People go there, and Hugo is not here. Go to Porto, get involved, and start to ask, hey, why don't we do the same thing in Aveiro? Let's go, let's do it. And I still remember Pedro Torres was the first speaker, I think, and we have done there the first hour with the Torres talk, and then the second hour we have done the open space. So it was very organic and very, very natural. If the people were engaged and were motivated to do something, the things
and we had dinner in a weird Real that Diana took us. I don't know the place. It was just a weird place.
It's a feira.
Was good. Was good.
I don't remember the name. Yeah.
Time's over, says Leander.
So I'm so sorry. There's two more stories that need to be told, because they go back to our mission. If you notice, the mission said inspire people and organizations to achieve their full potential.
By Nuno Rafael.
No, this needs to be said. So if you look to the mission states that we wanted to inspire people and organizations to achieve their full potential. And last year in August during Ale, I was also one of the organizers, and I was approached by two people. And I found out two stories very interesting. One guy from Madrid, he was talking to me and say, the event is very good, but I want to share with you and thank you for another thing. Some years ago, you organized, because I remember you were part of it, you organized the regional Scrum gathering in Porto. And I came from Madrid to Porto to participate. And you know what? In that day, I decided that this is what I wanted to do. And that's why I shifted my professional life, and that's why today I'm here in Porto again for Ale. It's because you made me, not me, the entire thing made me realize this was something cool. And also in Ale, I found out that a guy from UK came to Porto to attend the event and to also do some talks and participate. And he felt so inspired by what we were doing here in Porto that not only decided that this was really cool, but he decided to move to Porto with his wife and raise his kids in Portugal. Because it said, it's amazing the things that people are building here. I want to be part of it. So he moved to Porto. He's still here. He works with UK, but he works from Porto. So, and this for me is one of the most incredible things. We didn't realize that what we said was our mission was actually happened. And I found this 2 or 3 years after. So, and for that, I'm really, really thankful to everybody, because from the volunteers to the first dancers to the followers, we all made this happen. And it's really, really heartwarming to find out that people are changing their lives in a good way, because somehow all of us have a little bit of influence. So, and I also know Angie, she also did some shifts on her life also due to being part of this group. For the good or the bad, we're all together. And I needed to share this. So sorry to take an extra 5 minutes, but the story wouldn't be complete without saying this.
Thank you for sharing. It's really important. It's not only the mission, it's also the vision.
Yes.
This very seemingly an unintangible mission, but apparently we touched somebody outside Portugal. Well,
true.
Let me just, I don't know how we're going to wrap up this, but I really want to seize the opportunity here to all you guys that's in the community. I just want to say I love you guys, and thank you for your time and effort and passion on making this craziness something so beautiful. And this is it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you all volunteers and community, because you are the one taking this now over and over to more places. And yes, Faro just got also in the Agile Connect loop. So, and let's not stop here.
Algarve.
Yeah.
Algarve, yes, not far.
I'll be on that one.
Faro is too small, so we want.
It's not just Faro, yes.
There's too many cool cities in the Algarve to choose one.
I agree.
Thank you.
This is why we call this circle of life. This is like we born, we grow, and we don't die. But okay, we pass the ball to different guys.
And I stopped the recording with that. Spectacular.
Nice.